Well, it looks like it doesn't seem like we're going to get the one that's supposed to go down today. But
So sad.
let me try to get the old debate. See if I can bust out this old debate. Maybe we can see what it is that he's so freaking out about. Because apparently, like, he was an atheist who became a Muslim after an asthma attack because of this debate. This fucking thing ruined this guy.
A good story.
It is a good story. I'm gonna pop this over into the my circle.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this debate? Like,
No.
you're like
No.
me. This is completely cold. You got no fucking clue who this
Yeah,
guy is.
I mean, I'm familiar with a lot of Medicare stuff, but I didn't see this debate, I guess.
Yeah, I miss this shit. Let's see if we can get this fucking thing to play right.
Back at 7 punctually, but might be a few minutes late, so I figured I'd start up early and just shoot the shit and kill a little bit of time before we actually get into this. For everybody just tuning in
Real quick, Jim is not back, guys. For those who are coming in, Jim isn't back. We're going back in time to see how this Dean thing began.
randomly, you have no idea what the fuck is going on. Dean Esmay, I think I'm saying that right, Esmay maybe, uh, decided to, I don't really know how, he decided to discuss the topic of the New Year's Eve events, as he would put it, in Germany. Disagreed with the majority of people, saying that he
New Year's Eve event in Germany. This is going to be the year that the mass rapes happened, probably, right?
Yeah, I guess he says a couple years ago.
No, I'm betting that's what happened. Anon, $2. Everything will be fine, Dean. Talking with Billy, the anti-bully guy, is about love. It's all about love. And he's right. It's all about love with Jim.
didn't believe this was a um, group of individuals that was targeting women. He thought it was fabricated, and he had a lot to say on it. So I decided to bring him on. He wanted to come on to talk about it, so that is what this is about. I'm just calling it Metocast because I'm too lazy to make another dumb fucking picture to put up. So
I feel you, Jim. I feel you. It's always the Kumite around here, too.
this works. Again, he'll be coming on. If you want to hear that, great. If you don't, tune out. Go to work. Go back to sleep. Go back to bed. I don't know what the fuck you're doing up this early anyway. Unless you're actually working or going to university or something. You should be sleeping right now. 11:53 p.m. represent, somebody in the chat said. That is, yeah, you should be getting some sleep. I don't know what you're doing.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, somebody in the chat, open 4991. He just lashed out at you. You could say that. We'll go over it.
We're gonna skip a little forward because it's an hour long, and I just wanted to get a feel for this guy a little bit before he goes crazy, and then for after he goes crazy. So we'll go to 14 minutes in.
Oh, look how pathetic these MRAs are, making apologists for rape. That's what I remember being our first. But you know what else? I'll also say this. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think if we go back, we'll find it went that way. But maybe I responded to somebody who was also responding. You know how Twitter gets, especially when everybody's mad.
Well, I can quote you our exact first interaction. This is where it began on January 7th.
This is where people fuck up with Medica. He's got that fucking memory. He doesn't forget.
Yeah.
He's not gonna let you forget. And he's trying to flip it. I'll tell you our first interaction. He's that kind of motherfucker.
This is what I said. I think it speaks volumes to see somebody who writes for an outlet like Forbes, and I'll get to what I was referring to in a second because I'm sure people are not going to know what the fuck this is about. But I think it speaks volumes to somebody who writes for an outlet like Forbes to make these statements. For days, no one wanted to publish. It took social media to force it being brought up. Then it was watered down so as not to offend. Again, people had to push. Now you have statements coming out left and right about what transpired, yet there is a concerted effort to protect refugees. How about instead they focus their efforts on protecting women from being sexually assaulted and worry about immigrant feelings later? Your first response to me, our very first, our very first interaction was, your response was, how about take at least 30 seconds to question the credibility of the reports before we assume those men guilty of anything? My response, which ones? The 120 in Cologne, the 53 in Hamburg, or the 7 in Frankfurt? And then it basically went from there with you saying, so basically you guys are good with sloppy evidence standards of feminists.
No, real quick. Just making sure. I heard his mic make a noise. Wanted to make sure that wasn't happening over here, and I'd be like, oh shit, better get Jim. But yeah, it seems Jim is hammering the fuck out of him.
Yeah, he's like reading some articles on him or something, or that he wrote.
Yeah.
Sounds like this guy was some kind of big deal MRA, and then I see someone in the chat said he was on the Red Pill documentary.
Really?
I don't know if that's true.
That would be some shit. I didn't know it would be. He was that high. I don't know who this fucking guy is at all. I didn't know it was somebody on that level.
Maybe some kind of writer. He said it was something about being in Forbes.
Oh, I am learning.
Got it. And then from that point onward, that's where our conversation went. But never once did I mention MRAs. Never once did I mention feminism. I was simply, my initial response was to a woman who's an economist at Forbes. And I swear to God, and this is on her Twitter, and I have archives of this. She actually went onto Twitter and said, that this is Frances Coppola, too, for anybody who's unfamiliar. She said that she believed that the anti-immigration people organized the Cologne sex crimes as a way of getting immigrants out of Europe. She was putting forward, this is a woman who writes for fucking Forbes, she was putting forward the idea that neo-Nazis painted themselves, this is what I'd have to assume she's saying, painted themselves to look like immigrants, and then attacked women in an effort to make people so uncomfortable that they would basically force an exodus, that they would get all the immigrants out. So that statement and the statements preceding it, during our initial, interaction, were directed at Frances Coppola and her fucking pure insanity in regards to the news coming out of what was going on in Cologne, with the initial reporting happening on the 6th of January, I believe.
Then I will plead guilty to jumping in the middle of a conversation I didn't realize had a broader context with you. There was a lot of stuff being flung at me on my Twitter wall. There were even people dragging. I just saw this stuff happening, and I was reacting, and I was angry. Let me point a few things out to you, though.
Go for it.
There have been multiple reports in Germany, in the German language press, just in the last 2 months, not to mention the last few years, about about police warning people about false rape reports. There's one I just tweeted the other day.
You're talking about the events in Rostock. Those articles those articles are from October, November. Yeah, you're talking about Rostock, which is, I believe, 500 miles away from Cologne, and a month or two preceding the events. And this is in reference to people who weren't immigrants. This has nothing to do with the Cologne events.
So let's.
He is not doing too hot.
No, and he sounds like he's like struggling to breathe and talk. I'm not gonna lie.
He's not doing well here. He's not winning this.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, I want to get to the crying.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot it. So, like he's saying there, take a deep breath. We'll go about 30 minutes in. Let's see how this is. How it's going about this point.
On the size of Paris, go.
Oh
From
shit.
police reports.
Give me an example the size of Paris, go.
No, I don't have one. So you win.
Great, that's what I just fucking said.
All crimes against Muslim immigrants are now justified. Thank you.
When did I say they were justified? I told you I'm not calling to have them killed or murdered or butchered.
No, you're just blaming them, all of them, collectively, for the work of madmen.
No, I'm blaming their ideology. That's what fuels their madmen.
Ideology. And when they tell you that's not their ideology, you call them liars. How do they win?
When you've got 500...
Oh shit.
Preach.
Dude. He's fucking... He is wrecking this boy.
million people that think killing because they leave Islam is okay. That's a fucking issue, Dean.
That's true. It is. And it's one that Muslims need to be talked to about.
Talk to about what is this myth of the moderate Muslim? We talk about all these moderate Muslims and all these good guy Muslims. You've got a fucking 500 million people. That's nearly twice the size of the population of the United States that wants to kill anybody that lives Islam. That kind of seems like a bigger fucking deal. We say, oh, the Muslims need to address it. I get this idea that people think when I talk about this, like, oh my God, you hate Muslims. If it was Christians doing it, I'd be up their ass about it. If it was Jews doing it, I'd be up their ass about it. But it's not the Christians, the Jews, the Buddhists, the Taoists that are in the middle of this shit right now. The problem we are facing right now is directly related to Islam and immigration from parts of the world where it is dominant.
Okay. All right. You win.
That sounds good.
Yeah. He's getting tore up. And like, he just keeps having to say Jim's right.
Yeah.
All right,
And then he makes like that random comment like, okay, we have to kill all Muslims or something now. Like it's like what something like not even close to what Jim was saying. Like they make these like radical assumptions off of like some logic you're throwing on them just to try and make you look bad, but no one paying attention buys that shit.
when you can't win, you have to pretend you're the nice guy for not winning. That's what most of them go for. And fuck being the nice guy. I went another 15 minutes forward. I wonder where we're at this point.
You just said you're skeptical of people telling you 1,000 Muslims raped 100 girls. I said I didn't say that, so you're saying you're skeptical of it. But the other shit that I was saying, you said no. You know what? I agree. So
I agree with some of it, and I don't agree with all of it.
What didn't you agree with in our initial conversation? What have you what do you still hold is untrue about what our initial conversation was about?
On Twitter?
Yeah. It's back on the 8th if you want to use Twitter Advanced Search. You can pull it up.
No, I don't need to. On the 8th, I was accusing you and others of jumping to conclusions with insufficient evidence, and I don't.
He blinked out again. But he's not doing so hot. Jim's eating him up still.
He seems like, I don't know, just spacey. Like he doesn't have that. He's not as quick, and obviously, like you said, Jim is so on point. Like especially when he's going after someone. I mean, you have no room to breathe. And this big dude sounds like he needs a lot of breathing.
Yeah, he's not doing so hot here at all. He's not ready for this by any stretch.
Apologize for that.
You don't apologize.
I tried apologizing if my words were too harsh, but that's all I tried to apologize for. I was right to be skeptical in that moment, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Why should I?
Were you?
It has subsequently come out that there.
Did your skepticism bear fruit? Did it turn out that the attacks didn't happen?
It bore fruit that they certainly didn't happen the way I was told they were happening.
And what were you told by me?
This is not all about you, Jim.
You're on my fucking stream, Dean. We're talking about our conversation. You're goddamn right it's about me. So what about what I told you was untrue? What about what I told you didn't turn out to be factually accurate? You're not debating the asshole that told you it was 1,000 Muslims raping 100 women. You're debating me.
No, I'm debating you, the idiot who claims it's about religion.
Hey, that's great. That's a nice duck. That's a great duck. Answer the fucking question, Dean. What about my initial comments turned out not to be fucking true?
Okay, I guess nothing.
Great. So then, what the fuck are you?
Oh, I bet that stung. I bet that stung.
Dude, he's putting him on the ropes.
This is bad. He in the corner. He's eating hooks. He's eating hooks.
I can't believe he dropped that in there too. Like this has nothing to do with religion. When Jim like just spelled it out to him how about all the religion stuff about how related it is.
He fucked him up. He's still fucking him up. There's still time here. I think we're about to get to the crying. This sounds like it's going down. We're about to cry land.
Yeah, let's get it.
What are you doing here? You basically said everything I said was true. You're just pissed off because you don't like me. Great. That's fine. What do you?
I never disliked you, and I still don't dislike you.
So you like lying racists and bigots?
Actually, I have a lot of people who are friends I would consider racists and bigots. It's not the biggest sin in the world.
So then why even throw that out there? What's the point then?
I threw it out initially with you because I saw you leaping to conclusions, and I still think you're leaping to conclusions you can't support.
Oh, okay. So you don't like no. This goes back to the SJW shit. You don't like the way I think. You don't like the conclusions I come to. So you throw out bigot to what? Herd me off and make me think something else? Are you saying that you're attaching? No, I'm asking. I'm just using the words that you just used. You said you don't like the conclusions I'm going. You don't think they're supported. So you throw out these words. Why? To herd me off because you don't like my wrong think? That's not SJW-ish to you?
I don't have any intention of ever trying to censor you or harass you or try and get you to lose your job because I don't like your opinion.
I know.
Jesus Christ. $5 sign from Nicholas Donka real quick. Screams jihad, then dies. SJWs blame the hero religion of peace, my ass.
I never said you did.
Two, and that's what SJWs actually do.
I know what SJWs do, Dean. I fucking talked about them for the last 3 years.
They destroy people's lives is what they do. And they create ideological constriction that's just suffocating beyond belief. They're some of the worst people in the world. But they didn't invent the concept of bigotry. Just go look at a dictionary. I don't think you know what you're talking about on the religion. I really don't. The rest of it, yeah. The religion, no. Sue me.
Oh, okay, so you just disagree with my stance that Islam is the core to the problem of the immigrants coming over.
Yes.
Okay.
I do disagree with that. On the other hand, still, it adds to a major cultural difference, and it may not be overcomable. They need to be
Overcomable. Brilliant.
They need to be talked to about it. And I don't mean talk to, cuddled, here, have a cookie, I don't want to offend your religion. I really do think it's appropriate to have the conversation of, hey, in this country, people get to switch religions. Do you accept that? If not, get the fuck out of here. I mean, that's one of the biggest stupid things they did. So you know what? To some extent, I agree with you. That one part of it. I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and backtrack because I'm going to give you credit on this one.
Jesus, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack it. We got another sign from Goiby for 20 NOK. That is, earn that paycheck, you dirty slut. Oh, fucking hell. All right, I'm going to go a few more minutes ahead because we're about to get the crying. I feel like we're on the cusp, but it's about to happen.
It's close.
Okay, I'm not trying to intimidate you.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if you want to talk shit, Dean, you need the voice for it. You can't. It's like I had this guy that came on the Metocast, fucking Guitar Boy 447. I swear to God, and if he's listening, he knows what I'm talking about. He's a mute browser. The most autistic voice you've ever heard. I had one guy that came on. I swear to God, man. He was talking about. You're talking about like we briefly touched on it, neo-Nazis, and you're talking about the Nazi attacks and shit. He was touching on eugenics, and there's nothing funnier to me than listening to somebody who has a kind of autism voice talk about fucking eugenics and putting people into camps. So all I'm saying is, if you want to shit talk and banter, either have the voice for it, or you better bring something better to the table than saying, "Stop being a little bitch because I called you a bigot."
Okay. Stop being a little bitch because I called you a bigot. There, is that a little better?
So it's a little better. It's a little better.
He can't even pretend to be badass or anything.
He doesn't have it in him, man. He really fucking doesn't.
More from the diaphragm. More from the diaphragm, but you're getting there.
Fucking Medicare called it more from the diaphragm.
Medicare's his new speech coach.
All right, I'll work on it. Listen, Jim, I don't dislike you. I disagree with you on some things. And if you want to call me an SJW, fine, but I think challenging ideas is not SJWism. I don't want anybody.
I don't think you're an SJW. I think you just engage in some of the practices they do. I think it. Listen. I mean, this is my
engage in rape hysteria just like they do. So hey, we both think the same thing.
How is it rape hysteria if you just agree with me that the initial reports I was talking about turned out to be accurate? You said you don't disagree.
Because the initial reports from other places weren't so accurate.
Again, you're talking about shit other people are bringing up to you.
Yeah, a lot of people in your little circle. You were just
my little circle. I don't own a cabal, Dean. I don't run a.
But you're sitting there making excuses for the bullshit.
I'm saying I can't answer for other people. It's me and you on this call. All I can do is talk about myself.
And that's why I started saying, "Hey, Jim."
I mean, am I bringing up other MRAs? Am I talking about what is his name, Paul Elam? Am I saying, "Hey, Dean, I need you to account for what he said"?
No.
So then I can only address the shit that I said, man.
And all I was doing was giving context. And admitting I may have been shot off too fast at you. I started with that. But I still think there's plenty to talk about here. In fact, even though we've been shit talking, we both had some interesting things to say, haven't we? I think.
So you're talking about rape hysteria. You at least whether it's from me
rape
or
hysteria.
from other people. Okay, I'll let you go with that. Tell me what your position on that and why you think rape hysteria is taking place.
There's reason to suspect. There was more reason to suspect it on the night that you and I were getting into it than there is now. There was reason to suspect because the police in multiple parts of.
Is this the asthma attack? Do you hear it?
I think it's coming, dude. We got 10 more minutes left, and
yeah, I think it's about to happen bad.
He's panting. I can hear the breathing getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah, I think it's about to happen.
About that, because historically we know the political groups will frequently use a woman in peril, the damsel in distress trope. It works for feminists because it works. It's older than feminism is. We have seen one of the favorite things the Nazis used to do was show Jews in threatening rapey poses to good German white women. Everybody who studied the history of this shit knows it happens that way. There is such a thing. If I specifically called you a rape hysteric, I apologize. But for being concerned that the rape hysteria was going on, I will revert to, I heard 100 women raped that night on the streets of Cologne. Looks like 97, 98 short on that one. And yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily know about that. There have been articles now over the last 2 days talking about 1,049 victims, of which 359 were sexual offenses. 659 women targeted. So
please don't even call that rape, please.
Dean,
I mean, I'm sorry. Don't call every kind of rude sexual harassment or rape. That's cheapening something.
All right.
That's like him trying to lower the rape numbers or something. He's like trying to write it off.
That's the hill you're gonna die on, Dean.
Jesus.
we haven't even gone into the specifics. You're outright dismissing that any of them might have been rapes by saying
No. I already said there were rapes, just not to the ludicrous scale we were heard. The last I heard, and I was looking as late as last night, there appear to be 3 which have some meat to them, some real merit to them. 3.
How would we define a rape having meat?
That the police are taking seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about 2 things, at least in regards to rape hysteria. I think these 2 are interlinked, and I think they're important. One, there has been, I mean, you had the police chief get fired. You've had police officers, especially in Germany, getting their shit chewed out because government officials and people in the media have come forward, and this is in the newspapers. I mean, I can get you the direct quotes. I can try to find them and pull them up for you. Like the interior minister and other people that were in the cabinet or currently in government had said that there was a media blackout, that this was intentional, and that immigrant crime has been suppressed. I mean, we saw an example in Sweden. We've seen some in Austria. We've seen some in Germany. Yeah. So you're talking about like, it's rape hysteria because people are talking about it. People were pissed off, and they're talking about it on social media because it was intentionally, deliberately suppressed by the media and by European governments.
And I've already stipulated that was happening.
His voice has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
that's happening.
So you're seeing a fervor online, and you're seeing people talk about this, not because I think it's driven by rape hysteria, but by pure anger at the police and the media for suppressing it.
It looked like it when it started to me. And it still looks like people are anxious to make every sexual harassment charge a rape charge, and that bothers me too.
Well, they're listed as sexual offenses, not sexual harassment.
Well, sexual offense, it will include anything up to sexual harassment. That's what my point.
Well, okay, you give me, maybe we're talking different definitions. What is your distinction between harassment and offense?
Well, harassment would be a category of offense.
Oh, okay, describe it for me.
Run up to somebody, feel them up, have your friend grab their wallet, and then you both run away, which multiple German friends of mine have told me they've seen happen.
Oh, okay, so you don't feel that grabbing somebody's genitalia is a sexual offense?
It's a sexual offense, but please don't cheapen it by calling it rape.
I didn't. I referred to them as sexual offenses.
Right, but people are calling it rape mobs.
Well,
and I'm sorry. That bugs me too. I'm not accusing.
Right. He's just getting fucked up here. It's about to get bad. This is where he's getting high pitched, the low pitched. This is where the crying's coming.
He sounded defeated already.
Yeah.
You.
With crimes ranging from mere pickpocketing to full-blown group rape is what's being reported in the newspaper on the list of shame.
That's right.
821 complaints.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. I'm sorry. Is that 821 rapes? Is it 372 rapes? Or is it various forms of thug fuck behavior that needs to put somebody into jail? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. How grabbing somebody's tit and running off with her purse is not the same thing as raping her, but it's not. And a lot of people.
No. I'm saying that the crimes that were listed range from.
Yeah, they range from.
Pickpocketing.
And you're right.
But you said there were no rape mobs, but they're describing group rape.
Okay.
Well, I mean, would you not count group rape as a rape mob?
All right, you win on that one.
I'm not saying that all 359 were group rapes.
Well, and the people talk like it is, and and I'm not talking to you. I just people just keep talking like it is, and I keep asking for sanity here. That's all. At least that's what I think I'm doing. Maybe I'm just a fool. Maybe I'm just a dimmy. Maybe I'm just kissing ass because I don't want to be mean to my Muslim friends.
Well, Dean,
Whatever.
how else would you describe the situation in Europe other than pure insanity? You have but I mean, you have the government and the media intentionally covering up sexual offenses by foreigners in your country. Let's say you were German.
And yet just 2 months they were talking in the press openly, including female police commissioners complaining about false ones. So again,
yeah, no, Dean, back up.
Who the fuck knows what's happening?
That's what I'm saying though. If you have a government that's willing to suppress actual rape crimes and sexual offenses, maybe the previous reports were suppressed too. Maybe the reason that police commissioner is saying that is because they were under the same orders that the police in Cologne were under, not to investigate, not to follow up on, and not to allow the media to follow up on. I mean, we have evidence of an actual cover-up taking place in Europe for a 5-day period.
And yet we also have other reports appearing in the news of police just kind of randomly filling out reports that they can't even validate just so they don't want to get in trouble. I literally don't know what I believe over there, except I know it is all ultimately about the refugee problem. And no, it's not screaming racism. Yeah, okay, racism's there sometimes. Give me a fucking break. It's not the worst crime in the world. That's not the real issue. The issue is these people not rubbing up, are not fitting in with the mainstream culture. The mainstream culture has every right to be uncomfortable with them and to complain about crimes. This is why it bothers me. I feel like we're in a time where no one can take a middle ground on something. I have to be a super uber duper lefty if I disagree with you on some things, rather than thinking, okay, well, we agree on a lot of this, because we do.
Well, Dean, what's the point? I mean, there's no point in taking a middle ground. If there's
right,
no, I mean, compromise for the sake of compromise is foolishness. It's folly. What's the point in saying there's no merit in that? Just saying, well, I took the middle ground, and that somehow is an applaudable thing. It isn't. It's not something that should be lauded that you compromise for the sake of compromise.
I'm not compromising for the sake of compromise, so maybe I shouldn't have used the word middle ground, because I'm not compromising for the sake of compromising. I really believe the words I'm saying. Well,
you just said there's so much insanity though that you have to be a super uber lefty to kind of reach that middle ground. So it sounds like you're intentionally shifting to the left just to keep that compromised middle ground position.
No, people arguing your position frequently accuse me of being a super uber lefty, like an SJW, which you did do in this conversation.
I said you behave in mannerisms similar to them, and you do.
I agree with so much of what you're saying. Yet I will continue to call for calm. I will continue to note that there's reason to be skeptical on both sides of this question. What else can I say? Jim, we've been at it an hour. Thank you for at least having me on. I still think we agree on more than we disagree on, and I don't dislike you.
Oh, okay. I'll give you the last word here then before we end out. Is there anything in particular you want to say before we cut it?
No. Anybody who just wants to shit talk, I'm usually not really that into shit talk. That's just me. We agree on more than we disagree on. Thanks for having me on. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Have a good morning, Dean.
Bye.
All right, chat. Well, that was I should have asked him how he says his last name. That was Dean Esmay. I'm gonna go with it.
Should have asked how you say his fucking last name.
Damn, I guess we missed it, or it was like.
I think he has the asthma attack afterward, but like you could hear his voice was broken. He had started crying a few minutes ago, but he missed the asthma attack. I think the asthma attack happens like he gets off of the thing and he puts a Twitter post up about an asthma. Pulled a Liz about it.
Yeah. Afterwards, he's like, you could tell though the progression that we saw there.
He was right. That's a hell of a go. So this is what that guy's so bitter about still. He got blown the fuck out, hard.
Yeah, man, it's tough. Yeah. Internet never forgets.
The internet never fucking forgets.
And neither do I. Is Dean showed up yet?
Oh
shit!
He
popped in yet? I'm waiting.
He has not popped it, but he's still sending out messages. It seems that Dean is still fucking pissed. He's still not happy, Billy.
Was I wrong on that? He came on and agreed with every fucking point I brought up. Every time I brought something up, he'd back it up. You can hear him huffing and puffing. There are
Oh,
parts
yeah.
more in the middle where he wanted to fight me in real life.
Oh,
And there's a part where he's talking about how he gets all his information from AOL scholars.
oh no.
Oh man,
Yes, he's a fucking mess. Dean is a fucking mess.
Well,
You heard that performance. Now you understand a little bit of why he's pissed off. That is
definitely.
fucking. That is the tattoo of shame he will walk around with, acting like a little blubbering bitch and backtracking on every single fucking statement.
He buried the fuck out of Muslims in that one, and he became a Muslim 10 minutes later. You said.
I know, isn't it fucking crazy?
That's fucking weird. I don't understand these people that are doing this. I don't get it. He has a huge following, it looks like, on Twitter. What the fuck is that? Who is this guy?
He was I don't know. I'm not big on knowing what how the MRA groups are structured, but I know he was like a big deal men's rights activist.
Like an author or some shit?
Yeah, and one day he stumbles on a fucking conversation I'm having with some dumb fucking reporter and decides to throw his fat ass into the middle of it. And it didn't go well for him. Talked all this shit. So you heard the beginning of it. I was real nice.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about it, and just pulling up the fucking shit he said, and I didn't even get into the nasty stuff. I just stuck with the main disagreement.
And
But he
seemed
gets
to be
somewhere
very.
in the middle. He gets real snippy.
Well, he seemed like he was really pissed off at you about a lot of things that other people had said.
Yeah, he wanted to come fucking argue with me about other people arguing with him, and he wanted to talk shit to me about other people talking shit to him. I'm that's not what I'm there for. You wanted to come on the Metocast. You wanted to talk to me. And then you're going to bring up other people. Like, go talk to them. What the fuck?
That's
Go
so
on their
weird.
stream and bitch at them. Don't come to mine and cry and huff because we disagreed on something.
it seemed like grasping straws too. Like he couldn't think of anything to get you with, so he's grabbing these other comments he remembered randomly.
He would just agree with you afterward.
That is correct. You know what, Jim? Yep. Yep, that's correct. You're right. I'm a big fat fucking retard. That's the whole fucking stream. That's the whole hour of that.
I agree with you more than I disagree with you.
Jim, I'd like to perhaps rub your balls a little bit. Can I get down there and tickle them? I mean, that's the whole fucking thing.
Need a
Talks
hot
all this
stone
shit.
massage there, Jim.
He acts like he's gonna bring thunder down on me, and then gets in there and sounds like he's gonna fucking cry.
Like he's the one who's he's on Twitter right now talking about how he's gonna kick your shit in if he talk to you and come to him man to man. You're a pussy.
Yeah, this is the fight me 1v1 shit. Yeah, this is the same shit he did on the stream. I think I can't remember what I said, but he really didn't like it. I was like, back it up, Buttercup, or something like that, and he really got pissed off at that.
The fucking.
And I was like, you want to fight me in real life now, Dan? He's like, oh, no, Jim, I agree with you.
What the fuck
Fucking
is
little
that?
bitch. God, fucking little bitch running his mouth, and then when you talk to him in person or you talk to him online, completely different. I agree with everything. We agree with more than we disagree with. Whatever.
Were you muted as well, or just everybody who asked him to come on the show?
What's that? Oh, you talking about? Did he mute everybody?
Did he mute you? I don't know if he muted or blocked you, but I know that everybody in the chat was saying that they were muted and blocked as soon as they tried to tweet at him to get his ass in here.
Yeah, he is big into that. Again, the big fucking brave rights activist can't take a little bit of banter on Twitter. Runs his fucking mouth, but if you tweet at him, hides behind a block. And this isn't even people fucking with him for months at a time. You send him one tweet right now, you've never talked to him before, he'll block your ass.
He's that guy.
He is that fucking guy. He is that guy to a T. Who the fuck follows this guy? If I was an MRA, I would be embarrassed to be associated with this fucking loser. It makes me look like a pussy. This beta bitch MRA activist is too much of a cuck to come on here and talk.
You can't be representing men if you can't even have a conversation. What the fuck?
Yeah, what men's rights are you fucking activizing for when you can't even act like a man in the first place, Dean? You should be a BRA, a bitch rights activist, because that's what you are. You're a little bitch.
What started him up today? What pulled his chain today?
No, you don't understand. For whatever fucking reason, just maybe once a week for the last 2 years, he'll just start bitching about me.
Oh, he is
and bitching
Pascal.
about this stream.
Yeah, he's straight up Pascal then. Just every once in a while, he's just like, by the way.
Oh yeah, no. He I think he said some really fucked up. He talked about Jim. You've got a bunch of Brondo swilling Chad Thundercock fuckwits following. Like his banter's so fucking weird and skewed, and he's not very good at like insults. And I wasn't like, if you listen to that really carefully, I didn't fucking go in on the guy. I argued with him and I told him he was wrong, but I didn't fucking sit there and insult him. You know what I mean?
No. You were
So
pretty
I don't
cool.
know what he's scared of. If you raise your voice to him, he gets. I don't know. It's like a fight or flight mechanism. He just starts to run away.
It's fucking mute or block mechanism. What the fuck it is? He's done.
It really is, isn't it? Like he can't handle it. Maybe it's just how he grew up. Maybe he's not used to hanging out with other guys, and he's not heard other guys interact before and raise their voice, and
Got
so
that
it
bass
scares
in
him.
your voice.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
My favorite part was when he was trying to do that big tough guy voice. He's like trying to do it, and he just couldn't even. He couldn't even fake it.
No, yeah, he tried to get all. I wish I could give you a time code on it. I know it's pretty terrible, but yeah, he talked about how he was more informed than me because he had scholars online, and so I said, "Well, that's great, you're AOL scholars." He's like, "No, I trust them. They're scholars." I was like, "Well, Dean, I'm a scholar too, right? And I'm on the internet, so you can trust me." And my sources say you're wrong, and he didn't like that either.
Well,
Like he just blindly takes the word of anybody that says they're an academic with his little centrist sitting fucking. I don't want to take a position on anything. I might offend somebody. Weak-willed shit.
yeah,
Like, is it that extreme to say that, like, if you're getting reports of fucking rape mobs going around, maybe say that's not a great fucking thing?
people use that, I think, as like an illusion to put up that they're a lot smarter than they are. If they won't take a position, it seems like they put a lot of thought into things. To some people, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I see your chat saying academics, please respond. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was Kraut before Kraut was Kraut. This is AOL Scholars was the academics, please respond of 2 years ago.
This is the salmon to the trout.
It's like AOL scholars are precursor to YouTube scientists.
It is. It fucking is. I don't know what it is with these people and this bullshit halls of debate crap, but he fucking is linking articles that say the opposite of what he wants them to say. And then every time I link an article or a police report or fucking information from the actual European Union, oh, yep, you're right, Jim. What the fuck are you doing on my stream, Dean? Why are you wasting my fucking morning with your shit? Like, if you're not going to come in here and fucking throw down and fight fire with fire and have a position you're going to defend, why are you coming on and agreeing to everything I say?
Punching bags are $50,
fucking
man. I don't need you. Fucking 35 seconds ago, he did throw something out to you, though. He says, sure, I'll talk to you, but only if you can hide behind Twitter and a bunch of my friends because I'm so smart and brave. Apparently, he's making a mockery of you now, Jim.
Well,
You're
he
not
is.
brave.
You know, he's making a mock. How am I ever going to live? How am I ever going to live with Dean Esmay mocking me? You know how I know I'm on the right side of things on a lot of issues? It's the fucking retards on the other side that are opposing me. So if I've got Dean Esmay saying I'm wrong about something, I'm probably fucking right. Because
Probably
look
onto
at this pathetic bitch, you know?
Get a peek at this motherfucker.
Just take a look at him. Yeah, but this is what he went through. He was like this hardcore atheist, and then like within a week of this stream, he became a devout Muslim. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy.
It makes sense though. In that stream, looking over, it just seemed like his main agenda was like defend the Muslims. Like I don't know why, but he was trying to hedge everything for them and redefine rape and all that stuff. It was like that was his main goal.
Well, you have to understand. I mean, he is well informed by his AOL scholar, so we can't really compete with that high academic level. Maybe they've got a couple based mamas with IQs of 178 on there. I don't know.
I wonder, like, were there any other people who were in this group of AOL scholars?
He wouldn't give me that's the funny thing too. He's like, "Oh, well, I have scholars. Okay, who?" Well, they're scholars. Well, that's not really a fucking answer now, is it, Dean?
I would shit bricks if Kraut was anywhere near this. It would be the best. I think it was before
Holy
Kraut's
shit,
time.
Yeah, it's a little bit before Kraut's time, but that's Dean Esmay. And I gave him the last, even after all the shit he talked, I gave him the last word. I didn't shit talk him once after the stream ended. And he immediately, within a week, starts going on tirades, and it's been nonstop for 2 years now.
For 2 fucking years. It means that
2
much to
years.
him.
Oh, he will not forget it. I forget it. I move on and do other shit. And then somebody's like, hey, look who's talking. I was like, oh, it's fucking Dean Esmay again. Running his fucking mouth again.
How could you be at this for 2 years? And it's like, okay, well, here it is. Let's do this. Let's have the chit-chat, powwow, dialogue. Let's do it. And it's like, no, I cared about it for 2 years, but I don't care about it enough to fucking just talk.
No, we got to do it privately, 1v1. Yeah, well, how's that going to sound? I mean, you heard what the public sounded like. What is it going to sound like in private? Even more dick sucking?
It's good. Well, the whole private thing, this is how I feel about it. Everyone who wants to talk to you on private on the internet, it's just so that they can leave and say something different happened.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm not playing that game with him.
Me either.
I'm sick of this passive aggressive womanly shit that I see from these fucks. No, you want to be the big shit talker? Come talk shit. Stop trying to be, they think they're so Machiavellian, right? Like they think they're these puppet masters that can construct these amazing plots. You're dumb, Dean. You're fucking dumb. If you want to talk, come do it publicly. Here's your format. I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm fucking looking forward to it.
I won't be saying a peep. You can't say it'll be a dog, but I sat here for 4 hours while Base Mama and Joy Sparkle yelled at each other.
That sounds
Yeah,
Shit,
if I can
terrible.
if I can live through that and I can sit through that for hours, I can do that for this. There ain't no dog pile, Dean. It's you and it's Jim, 1-on-1. No reason to back away.
There you go. Yeah. So again, sorry jumping in there, but if Dean responds, feel free to hit me up. I will pop in. If he shows up in 30 minutes or 3 hours, you hit me up. I will be in here.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it, Dean. I can't wait to hear more wonderful arguments where you agree with me in 5 seconds. Looking forward to it. All right, take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, Jim. He's a good dude. Good dude there.
Yeah, good stuff.
The guy he's nuts. This fucking Dean dude, he's off his fucking rocker.
It's a trip, man. I swear, I think the perfect thing is it's the Kraut before Kraut. It's the pre-Kraut. He's the prequel to Kraut.
Before there were Trout, there was Dean. Fucking hell! For real. I'll put this one out there. It's open from now until Doomsday, anytime. Dean wants to come on and have a go with Jim. We'll do that all day. Same invitation is open to Mundane Matt. Same thing for Dr. Randomer Cam, because Metokur's thrown out the invitations. Any of them ever show up,